one day, after days pass of everything being cool, everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's going great.
Yeah.
Just being tortured every day.
He asks if maybe Constance could pick up his training.
Big mistake.
Denna kind of freaks the fuck out. Like a lot.
Yeah, like a lot.
She beats him, does the ear thing.
A lot.
A lot. And then leaves him in pain while she goes to dinner.
I was going to say a lot again. It's a lot of pain, not a lot of dinner. I'm going to eat all the dinner. I will be back in 4 days.
Either way, it's excessive.
Oh, yeah. And me and Jade were actually talking about this earlier. Earlier in this chapter, Denna tells Constance, hey, don't permanently break him. Dark and Raw wants this guy, and I don't want to take any fucking chances, okay? Not a move I want to make.
Right.
And then he says this thing to her, and she jams it in his ear like a lot.
It pisses her off so much that she's like, fuck everything.
Yeah, fuck what Dark and Raw wants. I'm mad.
Yeah.
And lashes out at him. When you said that to me, I was like, holy fuck, no, you're absolutely right. She's disregarding everything here.
Because he's a rare person, Nate.
And he's got the power!
Yeah, she totally throws, like, caution to the wind. And I don't know, like, how the fuck he would have realistically not moved if she was jamming it in his ear over and over and over. Like, one time is hard enough, I feel like. Random jabs in the ear over and over and over. Fuck you. So, once Denna gets back from dinner, she asks him, all right, why?
Yeah, she had some time to cool off.
She probably had a beer.
Oh, cheers. Nailed it.
And eventually she gets him to tell her after a while, because she like keeps beating him when he's not able to get it out, which is not super productive. Eventually she gets out of him that he doesn't want her to hurt when she trains him, because he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Now I know that this thing that you hold gives you just as much pain as it gives me, and I fucking hate that thing.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I can do to make it that you don't have to touch it, but if you don't have to touch it, you don't have to hurt, and that's something I can give to you.
I'm still getting beat. You're not going to get hurt. I think it works out well for everyone.
Just got to deal with Constance.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to hurt me more to get hurt by her, and I'm going to offer to do that to keep you from a little bit of pain.
Right.
Because he's a good dude.
Because he's
a better dude than I am. I'm not a dude. But...
I thought you were going to say, he's a better dude than I am married to.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, I would. I'd take a beating for you, JD. I would, but I don't think I would do it for Denna. You're not my wife.
Fuck you and your braid. At this, Denna's like, oh, sweet baby.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Mm-hmm.
She lets him down, brings him to devotions, all covered in blood. And Constance shows up and she's like, fuck yeah, let's go do some shit. And Denna is like, not gonna happen. You leave us the fuck alone. Do you want to come watch me fuck him? Do ya? Cool. And sit down. Once they get back in the room, though, Denna makes Richard get a single bucket, just one, and she gives him a little scrub down and a pair.
And to Richard, that's got to be, like, huge. Earth-shattering. She's being nice. She's giving me food. She's giving me a bath. That feels good, to be bathed by somebody else. I mean, you know, a nice sponge on your back where you don't have to do that weird reach thing. Like, it's just taken care of. You can relax.
Well, I think getting rid of the sweat and all the dried blood probably feels pretty great, too.
The one thing I do think, though, that would happen is that soap of any kind, even just water getting into his wounds that I'm sure he has all over his body, it's got to not feel great.
At one point, a wire brush is mentioned. I don't know if it's in this chapter or the last one. And he says, like, it wasn't great when she was scrubbing him with a wire brush, but also he's getting clean. You want me to scrub you with a grill brush?
Pass. Hard pass.
Okay. Well, Denna tells him tonight she has a backache. he's going to sleep in the bed, she's going to take the floor. I mean, we could share, but whatever.
That's what Richard's like, the floor's big enough for both of us. He would rather sleep on the floor next to her than in a nice comfy ass bed. I imagine it's like down and you just fall into it.
Yeah. The next day, they take a walk after devotions because her back still hurts. So she's still not training him. She's giving him like a nice little break. And the palace is like super nice. And Richard notices it's like spotless everywhere. It's like Disney clean up in this bitch.
And that ain't easy to do, folks.
No. It's like there's a lot of janitorial staff everywhere just taking care of that shit before you even see it.
Everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like the guys down in Dark and Rawl's dad's crypt. A little petal falls on the floor and they scuttle in and grab it and disappear before Dark and Rawl ever even notices it was there.
Yeah.
Type clean.
They head to the indoor forest and Richard is like, I like this. This reminds me of my youth from like 4 weeks ago. Dana asks him what he likes about the woods, and he tells her that he used to be like a woods guide or some shit. He doesn't really remember. She tells him that training's made him forget everything except what she wants him to remember, which is why torture doesn't work. I know that we talked about this in the last episode.
Right.
It doesn't work. He's going to tell you whatever you want to hear. But walking makes him feel better. He really needed to, like, stretch, not be hanging from his elbows and wrists.
Yeah, needs to get loose. So when they get back, he feels refreshed, his muscles are stretched, and they're back in the room, and she's like, hey, call me ugly. And then he makes a fucking power move. He says, no, which... the balls. Everything she's done to you for the past 3 or 4 days. And he's like, no, I'm not going to say that. That would be a lie. You deserve better from me.
Right. And he also doesn't use the appellation. He doesn't call her Mistress Dana. She is not happy, obviously, but she is happy that he refused because that was the whole point of it. She knew he wasn't going to do it because he's a good dude.
Yeah. And I think this is her proving to herself he is what she thinks he is.
Yeah.
He is somebody special. And again, very, very rare.
But she has to keep punishing him in some way. So I think to make that okay in her head, she has to have him do something to earn that.
Right. It's her job. She doesn't have a choice. So it has to happen.
Afterwards, she tells him her back still hurts and she sleeps on the ground again. So he gets to bed 2 nights in a row.
Something's up, man. I wouldn't trust it.
I would still take the bed, though. I'd be like,
oh yeah.
This doesn't feel right. But, also sleep.
I mean, what's she going to do? Torture you? That's old hat by now. Shit, that's a Tuesday night.
So the next couple days are almost back to normal, but she's not going as hard. And she is correcting Constance way more when she tries to get out of line.
Yeah, and as this training goes on, things start coming back to Richard.
Right. His brain is a little bit less mush than it was a couple days ago.
A little less mush. Well, I'm not sure how you're doing over there with your drink, but I could use a little more mush in my brain. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, look at you. You're empty. All right. Well, I think we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Yeah. We're going to cut that. And we're back. See, much more toned down.
You went completely the other direction.
Yeah. So, one day, Constance is in the middle of her training session, and a man comes in, and he's like, hey, Dana, Roll wants to see you in his office.
Ooh.
You're in trouble.
Well, like I said, she was kind of disregarding what he wanted by jamming that shit in his ear, so karma.
Yeah. Constance... immediately, as soon as Dana's out of the room, is like opening Richard's pants, and I was like, fuck yeah, we're gonna wanna get to it. And Dana comes back in and she's like, don't fucking do that. Also, no ear play, like I fucking told you before. Yeah.
Do not cross the line, otherwise you'll cross me.
Yeah, we're gonna have some trouble then.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Is that what you want to do today, Constance? You want to fight? So Denna leaves. Then she tells Richard, I'm going to be your Mortis soon. And take good care of those nuts, buddy boy, because we're going to go ahead and alter those.
Yeah, we're going to get rid of something down there.
The way Terry puts alter your anatomy is horrifying.
Yeah, you didn't like that?
Oh, no, not even a little bit, dude. She doesn't even say, I'm going to cut it off, which is, okay, horrifying, but there's no wonder or mystery, not wonder, but there's no mystery in it. Yeah. Like, she's like, I'm going to alter your anatomy. How? What are you going to do? At least if you're threatening to cut it off, I know what to expect. No, thank you.
I would be a little bit freaked out. I don't want to be your... No, I have a Mortis. Leave me alone. She's very nice to me now. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, I'm like sleeping in her bed. Things are okay. Let's not fuck this up for Richard, okay? Constance.
Eventually, when Denna does come back, she's pretty rough looking, and she tells Richard that she feels real dirty and she needs him to bring her a bath.
Yeah, which he does happily.
Yeah, he's like, fuck yeah, let's go.
This pain in the ass thing, which he was like really not wanting to do earlier in this chapter, now he willingly does at the drop of a hat because she requests it, but not just to be a bitch. Like, she just needs a bath. So I'm just going to get her a bath.
Yeah, I think it's more than I think it's, he can see she needs it too. He's like, oh, you poor thing. Let me go help you.
Oh, yeah.
And he helps her out of her leather, and her skin comes off when he peels the leather off.
Oh, that's the worst thing. It's the worst thing. All right. How many of you out there agree with me? Terry has a way of putting certain words in certain places that just make my skin crawl.
The peeling, that's what got you, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, as they peeled it away, some of the skin came off with the leather. It just, oof.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
And she's covered in welts on top of that, from like shoulder to ankle. She's just covered in them. And Richard is like, who the fuck did this to you? And she's like, Rawl did it. Constance, bitch ass, told on me for being too nice to you. So I deserved this. And it's kind of like a battered woman.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or like Richard right now. He's like, thank you for hurting me. I'm sorry. I deserve that. And it's just sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. I don't want to say that Denna deserved it. Obviously, she doesn't. It's just a fucked up system she's in. But she has been sacrificing, or now she has sacrificed, on top of feeling the pain of the Aegeal, for Richard.
Well, Denna is in the same cycle that Richard is in.
Right.
Just on a grander scale.
Well,
so
right.
You don't see it every day with her. She seems just like an evil person on that microscopic scale, but when you pull out of it, like, she is in the same exact position. She has no rights. Right. She has no way to fight against it. It's just that her person isn't directly overseeing her every day because she's been broken so thoroughly that they don't need to.
Yeah. They can just let them completely off the leash, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why this bond between her and Richard, I think, starts to get so strong.
Yeah.
And I mean, even as fast as it does, I know that came up with Richard and Kaylin. Again, completely different circumstances. But one of the answers we got was from Jenna. She said that, you know, in a terrifying situation where like fear and adrenaline is present, it makes you fall in love faster because of we're going to die soon. So like, I love you. Let's ultimately, physiologically, I think I used that right. Yeah. Let's make babies because we're going to die.
Well, and I think also on like a grander scale, you see people, what they're made of and like the important parts of them in those moments too. So how much does all the other shit matter?
Right. I mean, you struggle the way I struggle.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge bond between people, like, for life.
Or like when the chips are down, I know that you're going to stand in front of me instead of beside me or behind me.
Right.
And I mean, it doesn't really matter that you chew really fucking loud.